Ever wondered why different historians interpret the same event in completely different ways? History school refers to different approaches or methodologies used in the study and interpretation of history. These schools of thought often represent distinct perspectives on how history should be analyzed, understood, and written. Let's have an overview of some of the major schools of history. Imperialist School. This school of thought emerged during the colonial period and was primarily concerned with justifying the colonization of other nations. It portrayed colonialism as a civilizing mission, emphasizing the superiority of the colonizers and their role in bringing progress to backward societies. It has been criticized for its Eurocentric perspective and for ignoring or misrepresenting the history and cultures of colonized people. Nationalist School. This school arose in response to the Imperialist School, particularly in colonized countries. It sought to counter colonial narratives by emphasizing the rich cultural and historical heritage of the nation, often glorifying the past and the struggles for independence. In India, historians like R.C. Majumdar and V.D. Savarkar contributed to the nationalist narrative. Marxist School. This school was influenced by the ideas of Karl Marx. This school of thought emphasizes the role of economic factors and class struggles in shaping history. It looks at history through the lens of dialectical materialism, analyzing the conflicts between different classes and the role of economic structures. Historians like E.P. Thompson and Eric Hobsbawm are prominent in this school. In India, D.D. Kaushambi and Irfan Habib have been influential Marxist historians. Annales School. Originating in France, the Annales School emphasizes long-term social history and the importance of geography, climate, and demography in shaping human history. It rejects the traditional focus on political events and instead studies history from a multidisciplinary perspective, incorporating sociology, anthropology, and geography. Mark Bloch and Fernand Braudel are the most notable historians associated with this school. Subaltern Studies. Emerging in the 1980s, this school focuses on the history of marginalized groups, particularly in post-colonial contexts. It seeks to recover the voices and experiences of those who have been excluded from traditional historical narratives such as peasants, workers, and women. Ranjit Guha and Gayatri Chakravarti Spivak are central to the development of Subaltern Studies. Postmodernist School. This school questions the very nature of historical knowledge, emphasizing the subjectivity and constructed nature of historical narratives. It challenged the idea of objective history, arguing that all historical writing is influenced by the historian's perspective and the cultural context. Michael Foucault and Jacques Derrida are associated with this school. Feminist Historiography. Feminist historians focus on the roles, experiences, and contributions of women in history, often challenging the male-dominated narratives of the past. It seeks to uncover and reinterpret historical records to highlight the importance of gender in shaping historical events and social structures. Historians like Gerda Lerner and John Ballock Scott have been influential in this field. Environmental History. This school examines the interactions between humans and the natural environment over time. It looks at how environmental factors have influenced human history and how human actions have impacted the environment. William Coron and W. Crosby are significant contributors to this field. Cultural History. Cultural historians study the cultural expressions and practices of past societies such as art, literature, rituals, and symbols. It often involves analyzing texts, artifacts, and other cultural products to understand the beliefs, values, and identities of historical communities. Peter Burke and Robert Darnton are well-known cultural historians. Orientalist School. The Orientalist School emerged in the context of European colonization and sought to study and interpret Eastern societies, cultures, languages, and histories. Often characterized by a Western-centric perspective, Orientalists studied the Orient, that is primarily Asia and the Middle East, through the lens of European superiority, often romanticizing or stereotyping these regions. This school has been criticized for perpetuating stereotypes and for its role in justifying colonialism. Early Orientalists include Sir William Jones and Max Muller. Whig School. The Whig School of history is characterized by the interpretation of history as a progression towards ever greater enlightenment and liberty. It views history as a march towards progress, often celebrating events that align with liberal democratic values and downplaying or criticizing those that do not. This school is often criticized for its teleological approach, which oversimplifies history by viewing it as a linear progression towards a specific goal, such as democracy. Thomas Babington Macaulay is a prominent Whig historian.